He's like just looking at Bentley. Bentley, are we poor?
Well, we don't have much. I mean, I don't even know what he's doing out here.
Don't your people usually solve their problems by marrying each other or some such?
You have a very poor understanding of our culture, which I can't.
Go on then. Just close
However,
the deal.
do you not manufacture precious stones as a byproduct of your?
Rasheen, listen. Look at his way. Is he actually selling anything we want?
Selling meat? Aren't we hungry?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess we are. We could use some supplies in that regards.
Lancris kind of rolls his eyes and he's like, well, I could go hunt if you guys are that hungry.
And I could forage, but that's not the point. It would take time. Time we can little afford to spare.
Well, figure out the problem.
Very well.
Use your silver tongue.
Rasheen reaches into his coin pouch and produces silvery metals.
You mean his family jewels?
Well, no, I just remember that I must have a coin pouch since Landchrist stole it in a previous encounter and gave it back. Therefore, I should have some money with which to pay the man.
The man looks at your silvery discs and nods and says, yeah, that's money. So I'm
glad we are both in agreement on currency.
Wolf meat or wolf claw necklaces, I think this one would really bring out your eyes, he says, digging out a really poorly made necklace of wolf claws. They're not cured, it's just dried blood everywhere. It's not well made.
No, thank you. We'll just take whatever amount of meat this will suffice for.
Well, all right. I mean, it's about to go bad anyway, so here you go. He sort of pulls down. He gets a hook off the side of the crab creature, which is poking out its own eyes, as crabs do. And he pulls down a wolf carcass and hands it over to you at the end of the hook. There you go.
Okay, I thank him for his time, and
there's no head though. The head's extra.
Take us on our merry way. Oh, no, thank you. We don't need the head. It's considered halal in my culture.
Well, the nose is a real treat, nice and leathery. Sometimes you get some mucus in there too, extra protein.
Wolf noses are delicious.
Keep your salt up.
And the humors.
Okay, so thank him for our time, and we proceed on our way. Yes.
All right. Well, he also takes the money that you offered him, and he pokes at his crab creature, and off they go back towards the inn.
He wasn't aggressive or anything. It seems like we could have just driven right by him.
Yeah, that's why I said to see if he had anything he wanted to buy. Like he's a story. You have the option of
don't
not.
Be so hard on him. He's looking to make new friends.
Yeah. You never know. It could turn out that the Overlord's weakness is wolf pelts. We might have use for him later.
I suppose.
Plus, there's only like 6 of his people left, and that's probably one of them.
So, Rasheen, what's the next problem you ran into as you enter the edges of the forest?
Let's see. Our next problem is that as we enter the forest, even though our road is going straight and our path appears clear, we seem to find ourselves coming through the same area again and again. It's almost like we're always just about to enter the forest, but never quite get inside. And it becomes perhaps clear that the elves have placed some sort of enchantment over their forest to prevent unknown outsiders from gaining access.
Okay.
What jerk?
So, yes, Rasheen will quite naturally look towards Bentley and say, "My friend, can you not undo this sorcery?"
No. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
God.
kidding.
Like
I
his face
kid.
falls for like just a second.
Probably has a fan, or somebody has a fan. That's probably what that is.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, what's the question? What are we doing? Solving
You seem
spells?
you seem to be caught in a loop. Every time you're just about to enter the forest, you find yourselves just about to enter the forest again, over and over again.
Okay, Bentley's going to pull out his copy of Nintendo Power Magazine
Uh-huh.
and look up The Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what actually is going to happen is Bentley is going to he's gonna try and discern the correct path with his damaged sense and look closely for clues as to where to actually go in this crazy green maze.
Okay.
So I'm going, I guess, look closely at a disadvantage, right?
Yeah, okay.
And I need to get my character sheet open because I forgot to do that. Because I'm a good man.
It's all right.
Just need to get that number.
Which number do you need?
Oh, I've got it already.
Okay.
I've got it already. As it turns out, oh wait, no, it's 3d6. I'll just roll another d6, and if it's lower, we'll take it instead of one of the threes.
Okay.
We'll take the threes.
Okay.
So it's 7 to 10.
Yeah, so I believe you ask 2 questions in that case.
All right. First question. Where do we go to get out of the crazy elf magic zone?
Well, it sounds like this tickles part of your memory, and you remember back at Harbinger School, you heard about an enchantment like this, an elven enchantment that could create an endless zone of confusion around a certain area. And there are 2 ways that you can defeat it. The first is to use a counterspell. You're not quite sure if you remember it. And the second is to make an offering of something precious that the elves would want. And that would also defeat the spell field. So you can either use a counterspell and try and remember that, or you can try and figure out what the elves might want to have them let you in.
I suppose I will roll some more because as we're traveling through the confusion zone,
You still got a second question.
I didn't really need it. I don't think. Where are we? We're in a forest. It's one of those, I'm just passing on it. I'm just like, throwing it in the dumpster.
All right.
I guess apparently we'll try to speak softly with the elves as they're walking through the confusion zone and try and get on the good side.
Sure, go for it.
I believe that is what, grace?
Speak softly.
Or is it wisdom?
Let's see. That's wisdom.
Okay, cool. That one is not damaged. So Bentley he's putting his hands up defensively as they're trudging through the elfin area said, "Hey, man, we're here. You know the Overlord's turning everything into glass, and we're trying to stop that. We just need to get into your place to see if we can find something that'll help us do that. I know it's not that alluring because we're huge, but let's all just have a good time and try to figure this thing out together, all right?"
Masterful negotiation.
It apparently is. All right, so you're speaking softly, and you're speaking softly with the elves. And what do you want to speak softly with them about?
Oh, about how to get through their haze maze.
So maybe what would they have you do next in order to get through their haze maze? Okay.
Yes.
Well, they hear your words, and they're swayed by them, so you see a face form out of a flurry of leaves. It's sort of, the flurry of leaves approaches you, and you can vaguely see facial features in it. You've probably seen this before, Bentley, because you've dealt with the elves, I'm sure.
Oh, certainly.
Yes, they probably even have a name for you in Elvish. What would it be?
It says, "Are you touched by the corruption?"
No, not that any of us know. We've been pretty good about not
Well,
being
we
corrupted.
do have those halflings with us.
Do we? I thought they stayed behind.
No, they're
No, we actually
the,
catch one.
No,
the
they're in the
heiress
back
companions.
seat in the child
Oh.
bubble. That's why you just forget about them because you don't see them.
Well, we healed them. We healed them. We drove the corruption out of them. We're
That's
good at
true.
doing that.
That did happen. Yes,
So we are not
they have,
touched.
but they have been touched by it though.
They've been but we untouched them. Is the important thing.
I'm just saying. Yeah, we did. We definitely did. I just it might be something. If you don't want to mention it, that's fine.
I won't
Yeah.
mention it because currently they're not touched.
The leaf face flutters a little bit closer and flutters down towards your belt, and it's sort of looking at your sword. Are you sure you aren't touched by
Oh.
corruption?
No, that comes from headquarters. That's standard issue.
That was actually a crane prize.
all those cool wizards get gross looking swords. It's part of our orientation process.
Very well. If you give your word that you will not harm the grove, then we will allow you to pass.
Max always already chopping down a tree is like, what?
I make the promise, and you guys better not fuck me on this for real.
The elves never forget.
Like,
They control the stocks.
It's true. This is a pretty big deal to Bentley.
I'm bound by this promise, and I make it. I solemnly swear that Bentley Humbast will do no harm to this forest.
Hey, wait a minute.
Very well. Then this forest will do no harm to you.
Okay, cool.
Are you going to leave your mark upon them?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Uh-oh.
All right. What does that look like?
It's kind of like one of those weird it's like one of those weird shishi pinwheels.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so that means Landchris, no breathing fire, and Ascara, no ripping trees out of the ground and hurling them like missiles at your enemies, please, while we're here.
Can I hurl them at my friends?
I think we'd prefer not to do that as well.
All right.
Sorry, Arp, you were saying?
Well, it's Bentley's turn to tell us about what comes next. You've entered the forest. The trees grow thicker and thicker.
Okay, so we're in the forest proper, and there's a problem. And the problem is that I swear I had something a second ago. The problem is there is a nestle of stags that are all thickled up. They're all thicketed. They're thistled up. They're all trapped. And they're sort of blocking our way, so we kind of have to, like, we could just walk by them, but we have to move our cart and guzzler past them, so they're kind of in the way.
Oh. Who do you think's going to deal with that issue? All these stags.
I think Caesar being you have to go last?
Yeah, I already made up a issue, I think, so I had to generally go last.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. My bad. I thought Smoke went first for reasons.
It would be Asgara.
I'll give this to Asgara. Asgara, help the stags, but don't you hurt them, buddy.
No, I would never do that. I remember this.
Smash cut to him making
he
venison.
says, ever so cryptically, as he begins to walk around the stags. It's part of a test, I believe, and I do remember the first part of it, but not so much the rest of it. I'm not really a historian, but we know a lot about the elves and the humans and the dwarfs. Lots of knowledge passed on by our maker. And you see Asgara approach the stags, and he kneels down and takes all the time in the world to show that he's not a threat, and begins to painstakingly untangle them in a very uncharacteristically gentle way. You see, the first step is always kindness. But if I remember correctly, there are other challenges we have to pass. Something about the elves always asking for things in threes. Kindness and something. I'm not too sure what the other ones are.
Well, the stags are duly impressed by your dexterity and your proud mechanical heart. And the one of them, the largest stag with golden horns, inclines its head to you, and they all bound off deeper into the woods.
Ah, majestic.
The path has been cleared.
Now when we're fighting El Gigante, those stags will come back.
Could be we made some friends here today. And just as I say that, the path ahead swirls with a darkness that is so thick you couldn't even walk through it. Looks like tar almost. Oh look, more challenges. There's probably one of us with more knowledge than everyone here. Sorry. But it's true. Our dragon friend probably knows more than anyone about these sorts of situations.
Ah.
And the darkness swirls and forms into a tall figure who says in Draconic, "Tell me 3 truths that those among you do not know."
Uh-oh.
And points at Lankhurst.
So, those among you is everyone else, but not me.
Yes. Just stuff that we, in general, don't know. Maybe 1 or 2 of us might know some of these things, but it appears the creature wants you to share some of your secrets among your friends. Some sort of test or another.
Well, Lankhurst looks pretty annoyed about this because he's a pretty private dragon, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So he thinks about it for a while. And he says, I guess one thing that most people don't know. Damn, I gotta think about this.
That's all right. The creature of inky blackness crosses its arms, taps its foot, looks at its wrist for some reason.
So strange. It looks like one of Rasheen's people again.
It's got big pointy shoes. Spiky hair.
Yeah.
Is this Sonic the Hedgehog?
He's asking us why we haven't bought his new game.
This is a creature of inky blackness. Shadow. You know.
You're right. It is Shadow. Dang.
Shadow the hedge human.
Yeah.
Because he came
Shadow
out of a
the
hedge.
Jog.
There's a hedge right behind him that he walked out of.
Well, I guess one thing most people don't know is that the creator of the Guaduan people is still around.
Oh. The creature nods, suddenly paying attention again. 1.
And the other thing that most people don't know is that I knew her.
2.
You see Asgara slow look over towards Linecrest.
There's like this really long dramatic pause. And then the last thing Lancrest says is, and the third thing most people don't know is that I have to think about this.
So the moon landing was faked, people. Wake up, America!
Sheeple.
I thought it was gonna be, you could make the third one something very like mundane. Like I've been sneaking off a bit of the rations while everybody's asleep.
Take your time. If we had asked this to Mike, it would be like Rasheen's really constipated right now or something like that.
I have a hangnail. 3.
Then the shadow thing would attack us. only to remove the hangnail.
You need to start thinking, because after this, there's only one more challenge left before you've won your way through to the Elven Exile.
Yeah. So there's those 2 first ones that are this big dramatic build-up, and then the last thing Lancrest says is, the third thing most people don't know is that the elves are actually really tiny.
3, the creature says, and vanishes, leaving the way clear to the third and final challenge before you may enter the Elven Grove. What is that third and final challenge, Lancrest?
Let's see.
Something Caesar can solve, because he's the only one who needs to solve something still.
Make it a pizza that he can cut himself up on and just cook.
Oh damn, that's meta because I had a pizza with mushrooms on it earlier.
Damn.
You savage.
Truly a monster.
I mean, what do you think my vodka is made out of? It's mushroom vodka.
Whoa!
Well, as we draw closer to the wherever we're going in this forest, eventually we come to a really thick, overgrown section of the forest that's just covered in brambles and thorns and just really thickly tangled, and there's no real way to go through it. or to go over it, or to cut through it.
Okay.
Okay. So Caesar decides to step forward at this point, and as they all test the brambles, noting that they are very thick and not easily cut through, and perhaps couldn't even be burned, Caesar comes upon an idea, and he sits down in front of the brambles and simply starts cutting upon himself, letting out his sorcerer's blood. And as he chants low under his breath, the blood, kind of greenish and sappy, leaches into the brambles and fills the trees around him. And he essentially communes with these branches, or brambles rather, and finds out for why they are blocking him, and attempts to calm them down and assure them that they are friends, especially of nature.
Okay. Cool. You're going to speak softly with them, or is that just something you're going to do with your orc magic blood?
I don't have a specific thing for the shaman thing, so I guess I should do the speak softly.
You don't have to.
Which...
I mean, that's your magic thing that you do, right? So you can just say that's how you solved the problem.
Okay, I will do that then. I will convince the trees themselves, now that we have first won over the elves and now the trees, that we are friends and we belong here. And they allow us to pass.
So you've demonstrated kindness, you've demonstrated honesty, and finally Caesar has demonstrated patience in communing with nature.
Indeed, because it probably takes a while.
And the branches and brambles pull aside, and you see ahead of you a clear path with a faint glow in the distance, denoting the elven exile. And we will arrive there in the next episode, so until then, all the best.